don't know if they'll hear me talking or not, but that's a beautiful shot right there. Miss Red Tag, Mrs. Red Tag, whatever you want to say, and her two beautiful babies. They're eating those small baby acorns. They love those baby acorns. They like that little area right there. There's deer eating that little area a lot. That's just right outside of Chris and I's bedroom window, so it's a beautiful place to look at the deer. And those are beauties to look at right there to get this week's deer video started out, ranch video started out. I don't know what all we'll have on here. We're going to be gone quite a bit. I think 6 or 7 personal appearances in a row booked. 7 days in a row. That's a little crazy. I just have a hard time telling people no. And we got some great personal appearances. I'm going to have a lot of fun at them at the same time. I enjoy the personal appearances, even though they're a lot of work, a lot of travel, and not very much sleep. Two beautiful, beautiful babies right there, though. And they're just doing great. It's great to see them making it this far. They've gone through the most dangerous part of their childhood, but it's still tough out there in the woods every single day. But they're certainly living in a ranch where they'll probably have a chance to get older than they will most other places. One of the things is a small likelihood of them getting run over by an automobile. And that's the one thing that takes a lot of deer's lives. And that doesn't happen on this ranch. That's the one thing we've never had. We've had them killed by bobcoats and bobcats, coyotes, and mountain lions. Never one run over by a car on this ranch. So they're very safe from that. You can see they're both beautiful, healthy, fat baby fawns. I think it's one buck and one doe. Red Tag, I'm proud of you, girl. As we get ready for church, we got a pretty good bunch of deer right here. They come to see Chris off to church, it seems like, every Sunday. They're here just about the time that she comes out, gets ready to go to church. Hey, baby, your deer are here. Wow. Aren't they pretty? Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure are. Little buddy right there. Fat Boy. We haven't seen Fat Boy in 3 or 4 days, but Fat Boy's back out there today. I think that's Fat Boy down there at a distance. Oh, no, that's Fat Boy right there in the middle. Look at Big Fat Boy. He is that too, isn't he? And Forrest. Forrest is out there. I don't see Forrest right now. He's been out here this morning. I gave him a half a bag of carrots, and I threw the other half a bag into the split ear and all of her buddies. But you can see we got a good bunch of deer down there. That was a little buddy right there. I don't know where Forrest is. He's around close, I can assure you that. He's already had carrots. That might be Forrest right there, I don't know. Yeah, I believe that is Forrest. But anyway, got a good bunch right here. And Mama and her baby back there. That's a single mama with a single baby. The baby's pretty good size. That's a wild deer. That's another wild deer right there, born in the wild, no tag in its ear. So we've got quite a few wild deer coming around. If you look off out in the distance, you see deer hanging around the perimeter as well. I saw Red Tag with her 2 twins in the yard this morning. They're both doing fine. There was a couple deer. Yeah, there's another one right there. There's a couple off out there. So we got deer off out in the distance as well as deer right up here close. That's a pretty good way to start a Sunday morning. Another totally wild deer coming up there with no tag in her ear. That's what's so, the deer, does, if you remember, does are tagged in the left ear, the buck's in the right ear. So you actually just have to see one side to know if it's the right side you're looking at. But unless we make a mistake, which we do sometimes, and put it in the wrong ear. But the majority of those deer that you're looking at right there are wild deer. And but they've tamed down pretty well. Like this little doe, little baby over here. That's a little doe that's got pretty good size. It's her mama back there behind her. Look at the size of her. She's in there eating cleaning up what, it's a little buck. I say she, it's a little buck right there. Little button buck. It could be a giant one of these days. Patsy, did you pick those 2 red tomatoes?
Yes, sir.
So these are 2 tomatoes that we grew basically in August. Oh, look at them right there. Those are little baby tomatoes. We had a couple baby tomato plants, and we had a couple other plants that are big tomatoes. Yeah. They're still going, but we've had 30 some odd degree weather, so our tomato plants are looking kind of bad. But these plants here that are in the humus soil, and you can see how the humus soil looks really, really good. The other plants over there got a couple tomatoes on them. I actually got 2 or 3 tomatoes is all. These had about a dozen. You can see those big green ones right there. See if I can zoom in on them where I can see them. Big green ones right there. Those are larger tomatoes. You can see those tomatoes look really good. Now those are the larger size. That plant beside them had only, I think that's the larger ones also. And then those other 2 plants over there had the baby tomatoes on them. We just planted them, didn't know really in no particular order. We could just barely get tomato plants this late in the year, but we got them. And the ones in the humus soil, waterless garden, produced tomatoes. The other one finally have, but they were about 3 weeks behind. And so I think come springtime when we plant our garden, and we're gonna have a lot of tomatoes this year. We've not been successful with tomatoes, but I think humus soil is gonna correct that problem. Because we have tomatoes that we grew in 100 and some odd degree weather without any water. Get back to the ranch from working at DeLisi in Oklahoma City. We see some, I call them welcoming committees. And the welcoming committees is, looks like a mom and a couple, 2 or 3 babies. And it looks like she's got twins. She's a good mama. Good mama that can get 2 twins up to full size like that. I say full size. And here's some more as I go a little bit further. Those are pecan trees that they're under. They might be eating pecans that's got knocked down, or they might just be feeding on the hay. But those are some pretty little babies. Let me zoom in on those rascals. Mama, pretty good sized baby there. The other mama back over there. Where are they? Oh, there they go. With her 2 babies. Not too worried about Jimmy's red Ram truck. He's a friend, they know it. And as we get on up here to the inside high fence, we're inside the big high fence right now, the inside high fence. We are greeted by a welcoming committee of elk. No bull there. That's 6, a half a dozen cows and calves. Again, beautiful. Oh man. I've working, this is 7 straight days I've been on the road working. I got 1 more day to go. And then my son Jamie is coming down and we're going fishing. We are going fishing. Jamie and I are going to take the new SGTM, Sustainable Green Team tracker boat, brand new Tracker 195. We'll be doing a walkthrough on that pretty soon. I think it's just about totally finished. Jamie's bringing it down after church tomorrow. And then Monday, we're going to go fishing. He's bringing Chris back also. I haven't seen her all week. I sure miss that beautiful girl. More deer. I just see one there. There's probably some more scattered out there somewhere. That's all I see. I have my Ranger boat on. We've been at the DeLisi Rock the Block party. We had, I don't know, a couple thousand families. A couple thousand people probably. I don't know if we had 2,000 families. Might have had 2,000 families. Had a lot of families come around. Brought their kids. All the kids. Not every single one, but just about every single one got up in my Ranger 521R and act like they pretended they were driving, pretended they were fishing, just had a great time. Finally getting a little color in our trees, not much, still mostly green. But as I head off to church this morning, by myself. Chris is not with me. This is a couple Sundays in a row that she's over at Jamie's. So that's not, I think she was with me last week. 2 out of the last 3 Sundays I've had to go to church by myself. I don't really like that. I like it when I've got my beautiful Chris with me, no matter what, you know that. But as I go to church this morning, I find a good little herd of elk right here by the house. I don't see the bull. I know there's a bull around there. Is that him right back here in the middle? Is that him right back there? No. No, I think that's a big cow as well. No, that's the bull. That is the bull, isn't it? Hard for me to tell. It's kind of cloudy out here this morning. No rain. 0 rain in the month of October. Amazing. That's the big bull right back there. And that's his harem. And he turned his head behind the tree, but I can see his horn sticking out. His antlers sticking out on the side there. So that's his little harem. And he's got a pretty good little wad of them right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 or 10 cows and calves he's got gathered up. But that's him right there. And he's a beauty. He's a beauty. Well, I don't know. Let's see if we see any more elk between here and the front gate. I see a really big deer running right through here. He's running the other direction. He looks like he's got his nose to the ground. He's right through there. I don't know if you can see him or not. He's right through there. You might have to move for you to be able to see. You notice even the leaves on the ground. It's a really big buck. Really big buck. Wild buck. Really big one. He's got his tail up and his head down to the ground. He's chasing or following there. I didn't see a doe, but oh, you can fight in that tree. Look at him fighting that tree. Where is it? Oh, he's mostly behind. I tried to back up a little bit where I could see him fight that tree a little bit better. See him rubbing that tree. There you go. It's about as good as I can get it right there. He's knocking all those limbs down. And he's got slick horns, but he's fighting that tree anyway, rubbing that tree. So a lot of deer hunters think that when they see rubs later in the year, it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean the deer's in that area. They're all looking for scrapes, and scrapes is good because scrapes is leaving your mark behind. But rubs is good also. Rubs will tell you that there's definitely deer in that area. And if you can see an area, it's got quite a few rubs in it. And that tree, he's going to rub that tree. He'll probably kill that tree. He'll probably kill that tree. And that's fine. That's a little small tree. We don't mind him killing those like that. If that was a little baby pecan tree, I'd be out there running him off right now. But it's not. It's just an oak tree. And he's rubbing that tree on his horns. He's fighting it pretty good. It's a big old giant deer. Big old giant buck. Now he's going to go on with his nose to the ground. Looking for there. Kind of hard to move up here in the car and just keep it on the deer at the same time. Like chewing bubble gum and walking, sometimes I can't do that. That's a beauty right there. That is a beauty. It's a big, beautiful wild deer. Babies in the prayer circle. Barely daylight. Those babies are certainly growing up, no doubt about that. Look at those pretty rascals. A good mama right there. Very good mama. I think that is red tag, isn't it? I figured it was. They're not paying a whole lot of, yeah, it's red tag, I believe. Not paying much attention to Benelli walking around out there. Little babies are, though. Yeah, they're so precious. Turned into small deer. They're still babies. Born probably in May. Five months old. Working on that grass. Windy. Gonna be another hot one. We have rain promised for tomorrow. So both of my rain gauges, the buzzards broke while I was gone this past week. So I gotta find a rain gauge somewhere today. Plus, I'm going fishing. Ooh, way Jimmy. Yay, Jimmy. I hadn't even noticed it's so dark. It's lightened up a little bit, and I looked out toward the feeder. A lot of deer over at the feeder. Whole handful. And it looks like all those and fawns. My eyes adjusted to not very light out there. There might be some antlers out there, but if there is, it's kind of hard to tell. Probably won't focus as dark as it is. It's amazing, really and truly, how these phones pick up light. Well, oh, there went my focus. Whoa. How they pick up light when it's pretty dark. I don't know if there's antlers out there. There's certainly a bunch of deer moving. There are another one's coming over in the prayer circle. Guess we're going to have a little prayer meeting. Cleaned up all the food for the feeder going off. Yeah, I think it's all girls and babies. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. It's got a little bit daylight, so I'm just going to shoot from through the window. And one of the reasons I want to do it is, I believe that's wild deer right out there. I don't think it's any deer. I started to step out, and they got very, very spooky. And I actually thinking that doe out there has triplets. There's another deer right in there somewhere, going down there around the water. I can't see her. It's not very light, so we're having to, it's really difficult to get much without and have the phone stay in focus. It's just a couple of deer there. There were actually 5 deer out there a minute ago. It might have been more than that. I think, though, that there was a deer out there that had triplets, which we don't see a lot of, but there was one small fawn and 2 larger ones with 1 deer. And then another doe showed up. And now we only have a doe and a fawn out there. I don't know where the other ones went. But I think those other ones were totally wild. Not been around here in the house very much. Nothing wrong with that. That was a lot of fun. There's quite a bit been happening around the house. There's quite a few deer have been coming around that are deer that are not normally here. But once they get here and they find out what a good deal it is to hang around this right here, the coyotes don't come around too close. You know, they're a little bit spooky when they come around. So it's a little bit safer for the deer, but they got a lot of food here. We got Bermuda grass and ryegrass in the yard. We got the feeder going off about 4 times a day, that Texas Hunter feeder, the one out south fresh to them. Plus, I feed. Now, I've got me a big bag. Of carrots and apples and grapes fixed up. I mean, a big giant bag. And I'm going to go in the pen and feed the girls. It's been a little while since we've been in the pen to feed the girls. And I'm going to stop by and take a look at the tomato plants. I think it's been 12 or 13 weeks since we planted them. We had, though, at 2 or 3 days down in the 30s, the high 30s, not the low 30s. And it knocked a big dent in them. But we'll take a look at them. That experiments prove that, without a doubt, Waterless Garden, Sustainable Green Team's Waterless Garden, made a huge, huge difference in those. Up at the garden, and I haven't been up there to look at that, but I think Apache said that cold weather pretty much got that garden out there on the ground. Might have been a little bit colder up there where he is. It's 2.5 miles up to his house on the front part of the ranch. But we had about 25 watermelons out there. Some okra grew, really big okra, some zucchini, some squash, and I think a cantaloupe or 2. And all that stuff come up volunteer. The only thing we planted was watermelon seeds. Just a little old patch of watermelon seeds, just see if we could go just with mixing in some Waterless Garden in with our soil, which is a great way to do it, an absolutely great way to do it. So I'm going to end this right now. We'll be back here tomorrow night at about 6 o'clock Central Time with feeding the girls in the pen. Big old bag of goodies. I bet they're smiling when they heard me say that.